Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with the bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So today's video is Rockstar romances. So we're going to have 10 Rockstar romances for you guys. But before we start that,
so make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are giving away free books on our channel. So you can win these books, which are some of our favorites, and we'll also be giving away books off of your Amazon wish list. So stay tuned for future videos where we'll give you info on how to enter that as well.
all right. So let's get started with some Rockstar romance. This isn't typically a trope I seek out. If I find it, I find it. But I know some people really love it. So we're going to give them some Rockstars.
Okay.
Do you seek the trope out?
Sometimes it just kind of depends.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I like it a lot better than other tropes.
Yeah.
But the thing with Rockstar is like it isn't just that. Like Rockstar can be all sorts of different tropes. It's almost like it's just like almost a separate genre in a way.
Mm-hmm. Because there's other things that go into it. So
yeah, because in Rockstar you could have enemies to lovers, you could have age gap, you could have bully. I mean, you can have taboo. I mean, it can really go any way.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about them then. Okay. So the first book that I have is Contempt by A. Zavarelli. Is this the fourth? It's like the third or the fourth book in the series, but it can be read as a standalone. Okay, so this is the story of Bianca and Madden. So when they're young, they have a relationship. The story's kind of told in flashbacks. We kind of go back and forth. And they write music together. They're really into each other, but she is dating his brother. And as they get older, they just get really, really close. And then one day he makes it big and he's this big rock star. And then all of a sudden his brother gets murdered and she goes missing. And he is the prime suspect in that whole situation. And he's just waiting to get taken into jail. And he's in Vegas one day and he hears someone singing, and it's this person that looks like her, sounds like her, doesn't quite look like her, but it sounds like her. And that person is Lyric, and she has no memory. She has amnesia. She doesn't know who she is. He is just certain that it is this person he has been looking for, that he has been trying to find for 5 years, that they don't know what happened to. She's adamant that is not who she is, but he takes her and keeps her anyway, because once this all happened, he gave up his music career and joined an MC, as you do. So that is this one. I really enjoyed this one a lot. This was good. It had some of my favorite tropes. I have some of your favorite tropes in it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of books out there with that very similar, because I read one very similar to that. You read it too, I think.
I don't know. Did I?
I think so. And then I just bought a book that is very similar to that as well. So see, popular tropes inside the genre of Rockstar, which Rockstar is not really a genre. I'm not sure. Like, I guess those are sub tropes.
Yep, exactly. So, okay, so what's your first book?
Okay, my first book is The Girl in the Front Row by Kelsey Kingsley. So this is about Lennon. Lennon has a rare eye condition where she is legally blind, visually impaired. And the author actually also has the same rare eye condition. So all of Lennon's experiences are going to be based very heavily on the author's own personal knowledge. So Lennon has kind of struggled with this and how to live her life. And so she still lives at home, but she's really trying hard to find some independence because she's now almost 30. And she decides to go to this rock concert and she gets some accommodations because of this. So she's up in the front row and she loves this band, and Dylan is the lead singer. And they actually he notices her because she's the girl in the front row. and seeks her out afterwards. And she kind of, she's dealing with some things like, does this rock star really actually like me? But he is also dealing with a bunch of stuff as well, because he was in a car accident and he has to wear a prosthetic for part of his leg. And he really begrudgingly, I'm not even saying that word right, does it. And so this is kind of both of them on these journeys together, trying to, find themselves when they maybe don't fit the norm of society. So this was super great. The author actually based a lot of this on, or it was inspired by Counting Crows, which was one of my favorite bands in the 90s. So I loved that aspect of this as well. So a little different take on the rock star trope.
Yep. Okay. So the next book that I have is by J.T. Geisinger. I didn't realize that J.T. Geisinger had this. I think this is, until I recently picked this up, I didn't know she'd had a Rockstar series. And then I think it was kind of one of her earlier series, but it's still good. Okay. So we'll just go with that. Okay. So this is called Sweet as Sin. Don't laugh at me. I don't know what you're laughing about.
I was laughing because I was trying to smile more while you're talking, and then I probably look ridiculous, and that just made me laugh.
Okay. That's cute. All right. So this is Sweet as Sin. Again, it's by J.T. Geisinger. This is about Kat. She is a makeup artist, and she gets hired on to do the makeup for this this rock star's video. And so she's at the house. She's gonna do the model who's gonna play the bride in this music video. And this person who she's doing the makeup for, this woman, is Nico, the lead singer of the band, is his girlfriend, or at least she thinks it's his girlfriend. They've been together for a long time. She's been in media. And so she knows that this is his girlfriend. Well, she is completely blitzed, the girlfriend. And so the director makes the call to not have her in the music video. And he decides that he's going to have Kat in the music video instead, because there's just something about her that obviously, like, that's what happens. And so he pulls her in to be in the music video. And that's where things just start to, start for her and Nico. He becomes obsessed with her very quickly, which leads to more. There are a lot of secrets. Definitely check triggers for this. There are some things in here that are going to be hard to swallow for some. But it was good. It was good.
All right.
Okay.
My next book is called Rockstar by Lauren Rowe. So just diving right in there. So this is the last book in the Morgan Brothers series. So it is book number 5. But it can be read as a standalone. The other books mention Dax and they mention the band, and there's other things that happen in those books. So it kind of goes together well, but the first couple of books don't really focus on the band. But Rockstar totally focuses on Dax. So we have Dax, who is going on tour with the band 22 Goats, and he meets Violet just before they're going to leave, and there's instant chemistry between the two of them, and he really wants to kind of pursue something, but Violet is kind of keeping some info to herself, and it kind of creates some problems as they're trying to work things through. And so I can't give anything else away. I don't want to give anything away about the story. So that's all you really need to know. It's very good. Lauren Rowe has created like this whole entire universe in her Rockstar kind of universe with 22 Goats and other artists and Reed Rivers and the record label. So there's tons to explore in this whole universe if you really enjoy Rockstar and that kind of stuff. So there you have it.
Okay. Well, the next book that I have is technically Rockstar, but it's also like nanny trope, which who isn't here for a good nanny trope, right? I like
See, Rockstar just can encompass everything.
It really does. Okay, so that is Where Waves Break by Julia Wolf. This is about June. Her sister is actually in a band, and that is a whole nother spinoff. Like, this is a spinoff of this series that Julia Wolf has. But June's sister is a part of a band, and they're going on tour. They're actually going to be in Spain, I believe, is where they go for several weeks. And June doesn't have anything going for her, so her sister's like, you can come watch all the kids, because at this point the band has been established for a while and all their books have already happened, so everybody has kids at this point. So she goes over to be a nanny for the kids for 2 weeks, and that is where she meets Diego. He was in the band, something happened, and he is no longer in their band, but he is going to fill in during this time. They need someone to fill in, and I can't remember if it was guitar or what it was, but they needed, or bass, I think it was bass, but they needed him to fill in. And so she's there. He brings his 4-year-old son, and I think it was 4, I didn't write it down. He brings his young son, and she instantly just falls in love with the son. But there is chemistry between her and Diego, and Diego's a bit of a dom. He's definitely a dom, and she misreads a situation, and she puts herself out there, and she gets completely humiliated. And at this point, she's like, I'm going home. And so when they get back, Diego realizes he needs a nanny for his son, and his son cannot stop talking about June, and he's begs for June. And so that's where June gets brought in to be the nanny, but she's reluctant because, they had this thing that they did that happened when they were away. But it's a really good book. Really, really good book.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to say to make our transitions less.
I don't know.
Those of you watching at home, if you have a good transition for us, let us know, because apparently all this time later, we are still struggling.
You never know. I just, there's times when it's like, oh yeah, I want to read that one. There's times when I'm like, okay, I've heard about this one. It's on my list. So, but
I know.
it is. Transitions are hard. So, okay. Tell me what else you got.
There, maybe you should just always say that. And then
every single
when
thing.
I finish, you say that. Okay, now I'll tell you what else I've got.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Next? Well, next I have another blind person.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
All right.
And so I have done a little research, because for a while there was like language where we should identify the person first, and then we talk about a disability or a label like that. But I have a family member who is part of the blind community, and my understanding from him and some other research I've done is that it is okay to refer to the person as blind first. That's actually sometimes a preferred language. So Penny is blind. So we have our blind heroine in this story. And Penny has a guide dog named Henry, who really just steals the entire book away. He is fantastic. So Penny is going to college, and Henry is a great guide dog, and she's very used to him. She's done a lot at the college, so she knows kind of where she's going and things like that. And so Bash runs into her literally, and he's super rude because he does not realize that she is blind. And Bash has been struggling with a lot of things in his life, and he is a rock star, and he is basically at this college and hiding. He's never gotten to have anything normal in his life, really. So he's here to just try and be normal in the hopes that people are not going to recognize him. And him and Penny end up living in the same building. And he then realizes that Penny is blind and that he was kind of an ass to her. And that kind of starts their relationship a little bit. Penny plays the piano. I forgot about that. And so he is very attracted to her musical style and just her ability to live life the way that she does. So that is the story. I really enjoyed this one. And like I said, Henry just totally steals the whole book away. He is just awesome.
All right. What is it with you? I was going to say,
I don't know how this happened.
Yeah, you have 2 blind books. I have to say that is where you excel with this stuff that I do. I don't think about how to say, like, I would never have thought that you're supposed to say their name before you say that, or vice versa. So yay for you.
Well,
because
it's
you're
from
keeping me in check.
teaching, but sometimes I think like we go so far in one way trying not to offend people that we actually make situations worse.
Worse. Mm-hmm.
And nothing would ever intentionally be said by myself or you
Yeah,
on
no.
this channel or in person
Mm-mm.
to offend somebody.
Okay, so let's talk about my next book. So this one is Reckless Obsession by Samantha Christie. I've been reading a lot of Samantha Christie lately. You've picked up several of her books this year. I really like her books, so I really enjoyed this one. This one is about Bria. She is a backup singer to this really popular rock band, and she's on tour with them. And she has a relationship with the lead singer of the band. She thinks that he is exclusive, but come on, really? What rock are you living under? He's definitely not exclusive, and she catches him cheating on her. And at this point, she thinks that her contract is going to get extended to the European leg of the tour and hopefully for the next year. Well, that doesn't happen. No, because she made a scene and broke up with him. There's this other band that is led by Chris, or they call him Crew. That is what he's referred to as in his band, and they're the opening act for just a couple of these shows. And they see her, they hear her sing. A lot of the music that Chris has written is meant to be sung by a woman or a duet style. And so the band decides that they want to bring Bria on with their band, even though they're up and coming, they haven't really made it big yet. Chris is very reluctant. He has some scars from his past. He has some issues from his past that he has to work through. And so he is very grumpy. He is very reluctant to have her around because she reminds him of someone. And so you definitely have a grumpy sunshine situation going on here. He's gruff and he's got some trauma that he needs to work through. But this book was so good. I really need to continue the series. I haven't done that yet. I hope to do that maybe this week. But oh, it's so good. So check this one out.
Okay.
Okay.
Up next, I have Whispers of Us by Karen
so
Crompton.
Good.
It was.
Yeah.
So this is book 3 in the Cold Neptune series. I would really encourage you to start at book 1, Lyrics of Her, and read the series in order. You will have a much more pleasurable reading experience, but you could read it as a standalone if you wanted, but just don't. Read the whole series. The whole series is phenomenal. So here we have Quinn. He is the guitarist in the band, and he's kind of one of the quieter ones in the group as well. And we have Cassie, who is the band manager's almost sister-in-law, but he is still caring for her as if she were like his sister-in-law. And she works at a bar that the boys frequent, and we see a little tiny, tiny glimpse of her in the previous book just from them being at that bar. And so this is surprise pregnancy. We start right off the gate with Cassie finding out she's pregnant. And we go kind of back through some flashbacks of her explaining how she ended up in this position with her and Quinn. This book had me sobbing many times. It was extremely emotional, but there's also a lot of funny moments in it. And I absolutely loved that there is no like back and forth between Cassie trying to decide if she's going to tell Quinn or not. That drives me insane when women get pregnant and they don't tell the other person right away. So I love that there's no drama in that aspect in this. We're not having time jumps or anything like that. So this is a great story, and it really sets up the next book, which I cannot wait for, which should be coming out sometime before the end of the year. So, highly recommend this series if you are wanting Rockstar at all. Read this series.
It's an awesome series. And speaking of awesome, let's talk about my last book. It's one of my favorite Rockstar books out there. It came out last December, I think is when I read it, but I had an arc for it. And that is The Daymakers by Grace McGinty. So this one is Why Choose, but you will thank me for this one.
I feel like we hear about this book a lot.
No, we don't. Not enough. Definitely not enough. Okay, so this is about Charlotte and the guy is the day maker. So Charlotte is in a relationship that is very abusive, and she's out at the club one night. She does something to tick her boyfriend off, and he starts beating the holy living poo out of her. And so she takes off and she runs away from him because she knows he's going to kill her. And she scales this fence and she hides under a bus. Well, that bus belongs to the Daymakers. They are putting on a concert. They are a masked band. So that's really popular right now, is these guys, these bands that are all masked. And this was kind of before all that started, but they're a masked band. And so they're running into a problem of groupies and people that they're sleeping with wanting to try and take off their masks during sex. And so their manager's not very happy with them in that situation because they cannot let their identities out. The whole band hinges on the fact that nobody knows who they really are. And so they find Charlotte after their concert hiding under the bus, and they take her with them to the next location that they're going to for the next day. And she goes out to lunch with the band manager and a few other people. And that is when this problem comes up of, oh, well, so-and-so almost got us in trouble because the mask was taken off, or a groupie tried to take it off during sex. And we just need to figure out what to do with these guys. And that's where she brings up the whole, well, I can just be all of their girlfriend. I can be their only girlfriend for all of them during the leg of this tour. And so some contracts are signed and some things happen. And whew, let me tell you, this book is great. I mean, it's so good. There's more to the story than that, but that is the premise. It's so good. It's so good. And there's audio for it now. So, okay. What's your last book?
Such a, like, in real life, that's just...
We don't judge. There's an amputee in this one too.
It's just weird to me, but okay.
I loved it. I mean, I couldn't do that. And no, I'm a one-man woman, so no.
Are you sure? Because your reading tastes indicate otherwise.
Oh, no. I'm good. I can only handle one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's face it.
You say so.
Only one. Because the man in my life was not written by a woman, okay? Let's just put it that way. All right, what's your last book?
I have so many comments, but I'm just going to move on. Okay. My last book is The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth O'Rourke. So this, my other books all heavily center around the Rockstar lifestyle, where this book is a little bit less that and a little bit more into their personal lives outside of touring and that. So we have Six, who is a rock star, and he is trying to get back together with his ex-girlfriend, Drew. And she's also a famous singer who's just extremely misunderstood in the tabloids. So both of them leave a very documented life, which makes things more tricky for them. And Six's family is going on this vacation to Hawaii, and he invites her to come along, kind of to give them another try. So she reluctantly agrees, and she ends up in Hawaii with his mom, dad, and his brother. And he gets delayed and is not there. And the only problem is that his brother, Joshua, does not like her at all. And so we kind of see how that sort of works out a little bit trickier. But as we often realize that in these books, when a guy doesn't like a girl, it's often because he actually does like her. And we have the problem, like, things start to kind of develop between the two of them, and she really realizes that she should not get back together with Six, and that the way he treats her and everything is just not how she just doesn't want to be in that relationship. And there's a reason they broke up, basically. And so Six is delayed for a significant amount of time. And so she is forced to spend quite a bit of time with Joshua. But here's the tricky part. If you are really famous and your ex-boyfriend is really famous and your lives are constantly photographed, how do you switch from him to his brother? Yeah. So a lot more going on in this book. Really enjoyed it. I love the whole Devil series. So this is a little more light on the Rockstar per se, but both of them are famous, and that limelight definitely changes things up.
Yeah.
Just ask J-Lo.
Oh my gosh, you're funny.
Well, do you think she would have as many marital problems over the years that she's had if she wasn't living in the limelight?
Yes, because she's a snob and she thinks she is important and she's got. Have you not seen the commentary lately? Like, she won't even look you in the eye. Like, the stuff
I
that's
don't
out
know
there
any
about
about
her.
that stuff. I'm
Look,
just saying, like,
she just sounds like a very unhappy woman. So I do not think any marriage would actually work. Gotta be happy with yourself first.
But having every little thing you do documented and photographed is not going to help your relationships.
No, not at all. All right. Well, that's it. That is our 10 Rockstar romance recs for you guys.
Okay, leave us a comment and let us know what kind of Rockstar books you like. This is our second video, so we may have already talked about it in one of our other videos, but if we have not, or you haven't seen the other video, go watch it. But let us know anyway, what are some of your favorites down below?
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.